There are so many examples of creatives swearing up and down that they are not going to bend the knee to backlash, and then they turn around and do exactly that. And one of the most recent examples was with Splitgate 2. The CEO went out on stage at Summer Games Fest with the Make FPS Great Again hat, and he swore days later he was not going to apologize because it wasn't a political statement and it wasn't that serious. Then he turned around and did just that. But now we're finding out that they are laying off a bunch of developers. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I think that this situation is a little bit funny. Sure, I hate hearing that people are losing their jobs, but ultimately, when you do something and you make a promise and you go back on that promise, yeah, you do deserve to get absolutely wrecked. And that is what has happened, because when Summer Games Fest was going on, I did live stream it, and as soon as the CEO walked out on stage with the Make FPS Great Again hat, I knew he was going to face major backlash. I even said it during the stream, oh, here we go, he's getting canceled tonight, and that is what happened. He then, though, had said he wasn't going to apologize because it wasn't a political statement. Now, I personally do disagree with that. When you are using a slogan that was popularized by a political figure, I do view that as kind of political. But my issue was that at Summer Games Fest, right, they allow people to go up on stage with pride pins and wearing flag pins. So ultimately, they allow political statements to be made. So a meme political slogan, Make FPS Great Again, isn't offensive. It's not that big of a deal. If other people can do it with one political statement, he can do it with his political statement. There were people, though, that were trying to get him canceled, saying, oh, he broke the rules of Summer Games Fest, even though they turn their head and look away when somebody does it when they personally agree with their politics. But he had said that he wasn't going to apologize for it because it wasn't that serious and it wasn't a political statement. And then he turned around and did just that. And now his studio is getting absolutely effed over. So here is the kind of string of events. On June 7th, the Splitgate 2 CEO said he wouldn't apologize for his Make FPS Great Again hat. He, of course, said, I'm not here to apologize, but I'm here to clarify this is not a political statement. It is quite literally what it says, so take it at face value. The state of multiplayer FPS games is tragically stale. We hope to fix that, whether you want Arena, Battle Royale, Onslaught, or Map Creator. And I thought that that was a good statement. It was a fine statement, right? The state of multiplayer FPSs is in a tragic state, and I would love for somebody to come along and change that, but it's definitely not him, and it's definitely not Splitgate 2. He then, on the 10th, apologized, saying, I'm not an idiot, and expected some controversy, but wasn't being political, and then he just straight up admitted that we needed something to grab attention, so it wasn't really about trying to, at the end of the day, make this statement that they wanted to make FPS is great. They just decided to pick the slogan because they knew it would cause controversy. They knew people would talk about it. But by apologizing, you've effectively pissed everybody off, because the people who initially wanted to cancel you aren't going to accept your apology, and they're not going to monetarily support your fucking game. And then on the flip side, the people who defended you in the hat, who you promised you were not going to apologize to, ended up being attacked by you. You ended up insulting them. You ended up abandoning them. So you've effectively made it so nobody is going to monetarily support you. And it looks like this attempt at grabbing attention didn't work out really well, because while they did listen to some feedback and they slashed microtransaction prices and promised to refund the difference to people, we now know that they are going through some major layoffs. It is not hundreds or thousands of people, right? But it's major in terms of the amount of individuals that work on this game, because it's already a small dev team. So whenever you're actually getting rid of anybody, it ends up seeming pretty drastic. So, the Splitgate 2 developer, 1047 Games, is holding layoffs just weeks after its full launch in May. The Splitgate 2 developer, 1047 Games, has announced that it is holding layoffs at the studio. In a post on LinkedIn, the company's official account says that they had parted ways with a small group of valued 1047 Games team members. Now, I don't believe this because if these people are valued, you wouldn't be getting rid of them. If they genuinely help the inner workings of your company in a positive way and they're good at their jobs, you're not going to just let them go. You're going to get rid of the people who were not valued or who were not good at their jobs. So clearly, you didn't actually care about them and they weren't valued. Regardless, though, we're still perfecting the Splitgate 2 gameplay experience in response to community feedback, and we are redirecting resources to build the best game for our players. You probably should have done that in the first place. We are sad to see our teammates go, and we are actively working to help them secure new opportunities. And in addition to the layoffs, it was said that the co-founders, Ian Prue and Nick Bagamain, have opted to not take salaries as they lock in to deliver the next phase of the project, which doesn't sound bad. Like, if you are a founder and you truly and genuinely think that this could pay off and you want to keep as many people around as possible, yeah, hearing that they are opting to not take salaries does sound like a really good thing because it's very self-sacrificing. They're just trying to prove that they want to create a great product. But from the beginning, it didn't really seem like that was the case because, again, we're talking about them having insanely priced microtransactions. Their game doesn't seem to do anything super unique, and they've now basically divided their already divided player base. I mean, it's clear as day that the people who even gave this a chance aren't particularly in love with it. It's sitting at mixed with nearly 16,000 reviews over on Steam. Stutterfest, they deleted the Steam community post where they said their next game would have no microtransactions. You can't make this shit up. Splitgate 2 game advertised as an arena shooter with Portal and Bungie style gunplay. Opens an alpha with a handful of maps and features. Pretty good so far. Opens the beta with a shaky launch but gets it sorted in a few days. Launches the game Battle Royale mode. This is what y'all have been waiting for. All this stuff we've been feeding to you. This is what we're putting resources and time into. We'll make ranked sometime later, though. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good either. And sure, there are some more positive ones here saying, like, it's got solid mechanics, and they're excited to see how they're going to continue to develop the game. And honestly, it's an awesome game. It was cool to see it updated through alpha and stuff, but when it's sitting at mixed, it's just clear as day that there are a lot of people who are not really into it. And that does suck because, again, I want every game basically to come out and be good. I want there to be an audience, but there really isn't an audience for Splitgate 2. And when you do something that could be deemed controversial and then you turn on the people who defended you, you're not going to get my support. I mean, in-game right now, there's 5,882. The 24-hour peak is 10,059, and the all-time peak was 15 days ago at 25,785, and it's just been going down ever since. It's been on a steady decline, so at the end of the day, I personally can't say that I'm all that heartbroken. I had a really bad feeling about the whole make FPS great again hat situation. I had a feeling that, like, he's definitely going to apologize because he's facing a lot of backlash, and that's exactly what ended up happening. And as somebody who said, you know, it's not that big of a deal because if other people that are on the left can get up on the Summer Games Fest stage and make a political statement, so can he. And he turned on people like us, people who said it's not that big of a deal, maybe his game's actually good and we'll give it a chance. So he's not going to get my support now or in the future, and it's very clear that they're just not getting a lot of support from anybody, as now they have to go through major layoffs. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.